And joining me now on the phone is the Director General of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation, Joy Jibrilu. Joy, first, thank you so much for being on the phone with us. We appreciate this.
You're very welcome, Joe, and thank you for having me.
Yes, I want to ask you first, how are the people of the Bahamas doing today? We've seen some pretty disturbing images, a lot of social media indicating a really tough situation. How are you guys doing?
Joe, this is a difficult day for all Bahamians. Yesterday, we thought it was harrowing enough. Dorian just sat over the island of Abaco. And, of course, this morning we have a better sense of the damage that took place on Abaco. So the amount of people who lost their homes, in fact, probably 80% of the total population are now without homes. We know that the water table in Abaco has been compromised. So in terms of drinking water, potable water, that's a challenge. And then to wake up to hear the Dorian, we were expecting it to hit Grand Bahama and the island Freeport, the capital of that island, but that it's now sitting there moving at 1 mile per hour. And the images that are coming out, I mean, it just breaks your heart as a Bahamian. And I think the world, they're all feeling the sense of hopelessness and helplessness of what people are experiencing.
Well, we certainly, are really thinking of you guys, and our hearts go out to all of those affected here. You mentioned the drinking water situation has been compromised. Do you have enough supplies to make sure that folks have enough water to drink for the coming weeks?
No, and so this will be one of our appeals going out, because I don't think anyone anticipated just what this hurricane would bring. And while you always think that you're prepared and that you've prepared for the worst, well, then along comes Dorian as a Category 5. And what has happened has just been unprecedented. And so as soon as the all clear is given for the islands, we will be trying to get, supplies in as a matter of urgency and priority.
So you need water, you guys need supplies. What about the infrastructure in terms of the airports and the roads in these affected areas of the Bahamas? Are you anticipating that all of it is underwater?
Not only are we anticipating it from images that we have seen, admittedly, they're from social media, but even from reliable sources who are sending out images when they're able to. The infrastructure is totally underwater. And we know that when the government is able to get out to assess properly, the toll in terms of damage is going to be unprecedented. So someone asked me, what do I think that the people need? And I said, everything, start from when you wake up to when you go to bed, and everything in between. And that's including the infrastructure. So we're going to have to go into a huge rebuild, obviously building up people's just their psyche and getting them out of what they've experienced as well.
What are you doing in terms of contact with other countries in the region? Are you in touch with the U.S. government? Has the White House reached out to offer any sort of assistance yet?
So I have to really just commend everybody. The United States, in fact, the United States has already sent out, I think, a Navy vessel, and so they're sending out support. I know the government of the United States of America has reached out to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the whole region of the Caribbean. They're reaching out, and they're all reaching out. What's just heartwarming is that they're saying, we're seeing it, we want to help, what can we do? And because we're all under sort of lock and key. I'm here in the capital, Nassau, and just from the outer bands, we experienced flooding overnight. So we're hampered in movement. And I want to almost say that to the residents of Florida. This storm is so strong that even if you're not in the direct path, the outer bands and the winds and the flooding and the sea surges prepare for that. And so we're dealing with that as well.
All right, Director General Joy Jibrilu of the Bahamas, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us.
You're very welcome, Joe, and good luck to all our neighbors in Florida, too.
And thank you, and same to you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.